It's Friday. It's January 30th. I'm Megan McKinney. This is Here First from Iowa Public Radio. People working in Iowa schools would face stronger vetting procedures under a proposal advanced by Senate subcommittee. IPR's Isabella Liu reports the bill is a response to the arrest of former Des Moines Superintendent Ian Roberts by ICE for being in the country without legal status.
People applying for or renewing their educational licenses would have to provide evidence of their lawful presence in the country. They would have to submit documents to the state licensing board that proves both their work authorization and identity. Public and private school leaders would also have to verify the identity and employment eligibility of their employees. Republican Senator Lynn Evans says the bill tightens Iowa code to make sure nothing slips through the cracks.
It takes some statements that would be interpreted as may, or even directly labeled as may, and changes those to a shall.
A lobbyist with the Iowa Association of School Boards said the terms lawfully present should be changed to authorized to work to make the bill legally consistent throughout. I'm Isabella Liu, IPR News.
Lying about academic credentials for a job would be a crime under a bill passed out of a House subcommittee. This bill is also in response to the case of Ian Roberts. He falsely claimed he had a doctorate from Morgan State University. Roberts completed coursework but did not complete the degree. Republican Representative Dean Fisher drafted the bill. He said only egregious cases would be penalized.
First of all, you're committing fraud against the institution that you're claiming credentials from because you're trading on their name. It's like a trademark infringement, that kind of thing. Second of all, you're defrauding the employer because if they hire you and you've got fraudulent credentials, you're getting paid for something that you don't really have.
Under the bill, claiming a false credential could lead up to 5 years in prison and a fine up to $10,000. Democratic Representative Mary Madison raised concerns the bill language was too general and the penalties were too severe. Iowans with disabilities are calling on Iowa lawmakers to change income restrictions on Medicaid benefits that they say make it hard for them to work. Currently, employed people with disabilities on Medicaid cannot have resources worth more than $12,000 or make more than 250% of the federal poverty level. This is just under $40,000 a year for a one-person household. Daniel Van Sant is the director of disability policy at the Harkin Institute at Drake University. He says there are around 200,000 working-age Iowans with disabilities, but only about a third are employed full-time.
So the issues that we're talking about today are not challenges with motivation for being in the workplace or workplace participation rates, but policy decisions that have accidentally prevented people with disabilities from fully engaging in work.
Advocates say private health insurance isn't an alternative as it doesn't cover all the support services disabled Iowans need. The Iowa Caucuses take place Monday night across the state. As IPR's Sheila Bremer reports, party leaders say they feel the caucuses are important even in a midterm election year.
Susan Stewart of Sioux City is the city co-chair of the Woodbury County Republican Central Committee. She calls the caucuses, even in an off year, the grassroots of politics.
This is where voters just elect their neighbors to the Central Committee, and then those people organize a party for the next 2 years, and also delegates to the county convention.
Stewart says committee members have picked candidates to run in special elections, so their role is important. Attendees will also discuss their top priorities. Stewart says for local Republicans, that includes taxes, the Second Amendment, and anti-abortion rights. The Woodbury County Democrats also stress the value of attending caucuses. Their focus will be on diversity, equity, inclusion, and access. I'm Sheila Brummer, IPR News.
It's Here First from IPR. I'm Megan McKinney. Dairy farms are opening new side businesses like cow cuddling and ice cream churning. These opportunities of joy are fun, but also necessary for dairy farms to keep making money. More about the volatile milk market. That's in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's a Friday. It's Here First from IPR. I'm Megan McKinney. Milk prices are now below many dairy farmers' break-even points after a steady price decline since January of last year. It's the latest effect in a volatile milk economy that's pushed some farmers to open side businesses to stay afloat. Harvest Public Media's Tadeo Ruiz Sandoval has more.
Quincy Schmidt's family has owned their dairy farm in Corcoran, Minnesota, an hour outside of the Twin Cities, since 1958, when her grandpa first scouted the area.
He hopped in his pickup one day and he bought the farm with 20 cows and a horse, and we kind of have grown our farm from there.
When Schmidt was growing up, the family had about 50 cows, and the herd expanded over time.
As we became adults and were interested in the farm, we increased our herd. We're now milking 120 cows, and yeah, they're pretty friendly. They're a friendly bunch.
But for the past 5 years, dairy prices have been volatile. They're currently running a few dollars below many farmers' break-even points. Profit margins at Schmidt's family's farm started shrinking.
Dairy isn't always a consistent form of income. If other dairy farmers can relate, the prices are pretty low. They've been very low for a while. It's not always the same check you see coming in it's not a consistent check.
Thus, their side business, Curious Cows and Company, was born. For $25, visitors can spend 30 minutes snuggling calves, brushing their coats, or feeding them hay. I tried filming myself cuddling with cows, in fact, until one of them thought my hair was edible. In the business. But why have dairy prices been declining? One part of it is that there's a dairy glut that's outpacing demand. Christopher Wolf is an ag economist at Cornell University. He says people tend to consume a lot of these dairy products when they eat out.
They're more likely to, people eat more cheeses, more specialty cheese in particular, and things like that when they eat out.
But he says with inflation still relatively high, people are eating out less, and that cuts into dairy consumption.
So right now, inflation is still being kind of stubborn, and everything that's happening right now doesn't look like it's going to do much for curbing inflation. So when people go out less, it also has impacts.
Which is precisely why dairy businesses across the country have delved into agritourism and diversified their product lines to generate as much revenue as possible. This isn't a new idea to Jeff Swanson, a tour manager at Country Dairy in Michigan.
That's part of the reason why we put in our own bottling plant, because in the late 70s and early 80s, milk prices were really low and a lot of farmers were selling out.
Country Dairy not only bottles its own milk, but also operates its own ice cream line, offers tours, and even has a small restaurant on its farm. Swanson says the idea of the special products and tours is also about helping people to understand farming.
People who really have a disconnect with farms today, to be able to educate them and help them know what a modern dairy farm is like.
Swanson says this has allowed their farm to remain relatively independent from major milk market forces. Their focus is to provide quality milk to their customers and offer some unique time on the farm.
So this year, we're also going to be doing classes on Thursdays, and we call it Moo University or Moo U. And we are doing that to try and open up farming even more to people.
That's been a recurring theme through conversations with different dairy farmers. These side businesses aren't just about bringing in more cash, they're also meant to connect people. I'm Tadeo Ruiz Sandoval, Harvest Public Media.
Harvest Public Media is a collab of public media newsrooms in the Midwest and Great Plains, including IPR News covering ag, food systems, and rural life. Hey, it is Friday. Congrats, you've made it to the end of the week. Thanks for listening today. I'm Megan McKinney. I'll be out Monday. I'll be back Tuesday. Talk then. Have a great weekend.